Welcome in, traveller, or welcome back. I'm standing in our new tavern slash inn in my forever world, and my name is Millie, and my channel is all about finding comfort in video games. In this series, I play Minecraft and hopefully help you fall asleep. But also I hear that many of you use these videos in the background of playing your own games or getting some work done or studying. Regardless, as always, I'm very happy to have you here, and I hope you enjoy spending some time here in this world and with me. And we start today in the tavern, in the inn. It's multifunctional. Thank you, by the way, for all the compliments on the build and the decorating. I'm still not sure if I'm entirely pleased with the layout. Again, I would really like some more seating. So I'm just going to do a little test run of how a sort of bar stool would work. And if this doesn't look okay, maybe I would just wait for the cushions and we'll do some floor seating. Yeah, this is what I was worried about. So obviously the stairs or the gates. So obviously the fences are one block tall. So if I were to put, say, like a chair on them, it looks okay in sort of visuals, but in terms of the space that I've made already, it just doesn't suit. I would have to increase the height of the bar, and I really want this to be a functional place. And I think making it really nice decoratively is obviously something I try to do as I'm building and going along, but I've always said this with Minecraft, without any kind of furniture mod, using the blocks that Minecraft already has, the scale is quite difficult to get right. And I want this to be a tavern that the villagers actively use, so if everything is too big for them, I think it'll look a bit odd. And I'm just going to clean up the roof. Just add the, what are they called? Upside down stairs to kind of make the roof a bit smaller, because right now it's very blocky. And this is probably a good time to have a little bit of a recap of what happened in the last episode. And if you guys watched, you probably already know that not much really happened in the last episode. It was mostly me decorating this place, the downstairs, and doing a bit of work outside as well. But very kind of underwhelming. So this episode, I would like to do some more decorating, but then also maybe we can squeeze in a little adventure. Speaking of decorating, I do want to redo this master bedroom. And last time I added a fireplace, but I eventually removed it just because it doesn't line up very well on this wall, as you can see. I think because we have the balcony, the roof is a bit off center. So, oh, that's too far over. So I eventually removed it and had the bed here. But I've been thinking about it more, and I really would like to have a fireplace and the balcony and a double bed. I want this to be grand. We're gonna charge a lot of money for this, and I say we because this is my world, so I do get to control all the money. And I know it is off center, and I know some of you really don't like that. I'm very sorry, but you know, if you kind of keep your head down and you don't look at the way the ceiling spikes up, I think it's tolerable. I mean, we'll do a nice brown bed again. Still, that's definitely an upgrade I could make somewhat soon. It's a nice bed resource pack. Mizuno's 16 has a good one, and I did briefly try and play around with the mod pack and take out some of the stuff that was a bit too much for right now. I just want to make some subtle changes for things that might not already have a mod. So the beds and some of the fences. Something I think happened uh, with my fence mod where some of them don't show up very well, and also some of the doors look really really good in Mizuno's resource pack. But yeah, I don't know if you can edit people's resource packs, so I've kind of held off on doing that for now. But this carpet one I put in the description last time. So so cute, really really nice. And yeah, this could be the big bear master bedroom. Still, I need to think of a name. I need to think of a name for the town. I need to think of a name for the tavern. And I want it to be very sort of traditional pub names. So something that sounds a bit reminiscent of the sort of pubs you find in the UK and in fantasy sort of stuff. But there really is that kind of common trend with names for pubs in the UK. And I'm pretty sure pub is short for public house, which is just like someone opening up their doors to become a drinking place. But in terms of the naming of pubs, I mean, it would just be interesting to research more. But I think I was listening to a podcast about this, and I can't quite remember the reason for why pubs are called certain names. So in the UK, you'll come across a lot of this and that. So like the Bear and Bramble, or the the something and the something, or it'd be like an animal. And I think this sort of depends on whereabouts the pub is. So if it's in like a town, maybe they wouldn't use animals necessarily. But also, obviously, back in the day, people owned land. I mean, they still own land now, but there was a lot of uh, title land ownage, and I think public houses in that area had to abide by sort of certain coats of arms and stuff of the family that sort of owned that area. But also, I think it has something to do with the imagery. So it has to be something. When you think of Bear and Bramble, this imaginative pub I've just created, I mean, maybe I'll name my pub that, but I kind of want to work on it a bit more. But I think it is generally, they try and keep it quite simplistic and very based on sort of simple imagery. Obviously, a lot of people haven't always been literate, and seeing a sign with an animal on it means you can instantly recognize the place you're going to, and you can like converse about it and stuff. So yeah, I wish I could remember. I don't even want to say too much because I don't want to misinform anyone. But yeah, learning about stuff like that is it's really interesting. Just sort of how things came to be that you kind of never really questioned before. So I think for now, the fireplace and the balcony is more than enough luxury. So yeah, once again, I'm asking for any kind of ideas for naming this pub. The Green Dragon. Uh, Maybe not something too fantasy. Yeah, something kind of to do with ships and nautical elements, because that's the whole reason we have the pub here. And I'm tempted to keep on messing with that room, but I think for now I'm just gonna leave it because I'll get too bogged down with trying to figure out how I want it to look. I actually just stopped to have a look at sort of coastal pub names, and it reminded me that there was one in Baldur's Gate. I don't think I mentioned Baldur's Gate last time. Wow, that's I'm disappointed in myself. But there is a tavern called the Blushing Mermaid, which I don't want to take it exactly. It has to be original, but the Blushing Mermaid, I really like that. If we can think of a name that sort of has mermaid, siren in it, that's really cool. Um, yeah, lots of imagery, like iconography about anchors and sails and salt. The salted, the salty siren. I don't know. I'm not very good at this, but I don't know if that fits the vibe, because when I think of the tavern, it's cozy, coastal, but it's yeah, it's cozy. We've got like a blue roof, a little cute carpet. It's not go crazy drunken sailor. It's countryside. You just had a walk and a sail on your boat. So nothing. Maybe siren is the wrong word, but it does fit for the alliteration. And also, in regards to suggestions for the world, not just in naming, but if there's anything you guys would like to see me build next, do let me know. I've been thinking about adding sort of houses because because the poor villagers are still in their little Airbnb, I think I called it, and yeah, it'd be nice to give them somewhere good to stay. But I'm still just a bit worried that if I let the villagers out and the town is not done, they will kind of run away or despawn or something. And I want to make sure I have jobs available for them all. So, and technically, I've only really given one job, although with the amount of barrels that we have scattered everywhere, I think there is room for a lot of fishermen. And again, I'm not sure if multiple villagers can have the same job. Although I think we did have two blacksmiths, so I guess they can. And maybe I should be prioritizing that instead, giving the villagers jobs. There's just all this space on the right side, and I think maybe two little houses could be nice, and then we still follow the road up back into the original town square. I was thinking for a moment maybe I should build the town in the direction that the tavern is facing, so like this direction. But I think I like going with the flow of the river, and that way we can make sort of some houses in the hills. This I think I'm gonna make a sort of make this a grassy area with a few flowers, because it's it's funny because when I think of a town or a village, the majority of the ground is pavement, right? It's like stone and stuff, and there's only patches of grass. But here it's kind of the opposite. I have to just build the paths in, and I really do want to keep it very green and luscious. That is my ideal village. I'm kind of working with a loose theme of the tavern being, of course, spruce brown, but also this purple shade of the allium and the teal roof. So the tavern is purple and blue. Now I'm thinking maybe I just stick with the salty mermaid. Although I feel like that name is very whimsical and the pub isn't, it's not whimsical enough to carry that kind of name. And this area definitely needs railing because it's not safe at all. But I still don't really know how to make the best of this space, the sort of courtyard area, because again I would love to add chairs, but the scale is just so bad. So maybe I wait until the cushions are out and then I add sort of low tables and chairs. And I have to say that I've been thinking very seriously about doing a different kind of video, and it would not replace these videos at all. Of course, I'm always thinking of different kind of concepts for videos that I want to do, and I mentioned one before without giving it up, without talking too much about it because I still don't know if I want to do it yet. But this would be still Minecraft related, and it would be a sort of play on words that a lot of people, I mean, I get comments about this all the time, and it's the thumbnail says, "You sleep, I play." And so many people say that they thought I was saying, "I sleep, you play." And, you know, I recently hit 25,000 subscribers, which is, again, I always don't even like thinking about the numbers because that's a crazy amount of people. Thinking about like a stadium of like plus full of people is very intimidating, and yeah, but of course I'm so grateful. So I thought that could be a sort of fun little extra video to do alongside this one. And yeah, I would basically sleep and you guys play, and I would try to make it a playlist full of songs. And I'm not too sure on how I'm going to do the format for the video, but I have a few ideas. Again, I don't want to spoil too much. Do not have high expectations at all because it is like an extra video, but I still want to put some effort into it and still make it somewhat personal. So yeah, that's potentially coming out. And now I'm going to work on the basement because every good tavern needs storage. Needs lots of alcohol storage. So I mentioned that last time. I want the basement to be a storage area for the tavern and also for the docks and the boats coming in. So I'm going to try and connect them. Again, I'm not very good at guessing where the connection is, as you may remember from the tunnel that I built to the beach. Give it a good try. And for the roof, I'm going to make it the same sort of triangle. I'm going to make it the same triangle shape that I have on the sides and at the front. But yeah, this is just, this is not like an extension to the bedroom, this is just for the staircase. I think the shape is good, but I have to do it one block out so I can fill in the inner part with the pale wood. And that should be pretty much done. I think it looks okay. I get too paranoid that this place looks a bit like a barn, the way I've done it with the with the like beams and stuff, but I don't want to think too much about that. I'm sure it doesn't. And then technically I could try and utilize the space to give the bedroom a bit of an extension, but you know, it's only what, like two blocks more. Yeah, no, it's not worth it. I'll try and do something else with that space because I think I could do a ladder somewhere, like a secret room. That could be fun. I can make up some lore about the pub, barkeepers, the barkeeps. So I think it's better to keep the beams just to the lower half of the building. And I don't really want like a big cross on the back of the tavern. So if you're wondering, is there anything else on the agenda today? Well, things I would like to also accomplish today. Finish the basement for the... I need to think of a name. To decide between inn, tavern, pub. Pub is easiest to say. Inn is what I've called it before, and then tavern is what suits it the most. But I think just for ease, I'm just gonna say the pub. You guys know what I'm talking about anyway. The pub. Finish that. Get some barrels down there, and then some wood maybe for the ships, for the dock hands. And then I also would like to find some tropical fish for the rock pools. Because like I said before, I don't want to spawn in animals more than I have to. Because even though I am playing on creative, I don't like the idea of just spawning in every animal I want. I think that would take away too much of the gameplay part for me. Even though my Forever World is mainly supposed to be like a building paradise where I can just create the little fantasy land of my dreams. But yeah, the animals, I think, especially for you guys, and also just for adding lore to the place, if there's a bit more of an effort made to collect unique animals that sort of come my way, I think that would be better. And I still haven't decided how to do, or how to go about the naming. Because obviously I'd like you guys to be able to pick out some names. But let's get the animals first. I still need to test out naming the villages, because I think giving animals names that we can all agree on sounds really fun. But I would love to add like some of you to the world. And also, I don't know if this is just me, but I kind of would like a skin for the villagers, like a new sort of style for them. With Mizuno 16 that I mentioned a lot already, they become bears, and it's very, very adorable. But I don't know if I necessarily want that for this world. I'd like to try something new, I think. But going to find some fish, some tropical fish for the rock pool would be pretty cool. Now I'm not too sure how deep in I want to make this, because I don't like the idea of making the corridor too long. I think with most storage areas, you want to get right into the room. You don't have to carry things down a corridor as well. But because of the way the tavern is positioned, I do need a little bit of corridor to get underneath it. And actually, that's something else someone has mentioned, that it would be nice to do one of these episodes specifically in the rain, so the entire thing is in the rain. And I'm not sure how you go about making sure the weather doesn't change, but I imagine it's something that you can easily do in Minecraft with the commands. And it hasn't lined up perfectly, but I think it's a happy medium. It's slightly in between both the dock and the tavern. And I debated this last time as to whether I was going to make a staircase or a ladder down to the basement. And a ladder would obviously be way better for positioning and to keep the space. But realistically, in a pub, you gotta carry stuff up the stairs. You can't carry it up a ladder. Hence why I have opted to build a single block staircase. Nothing grand, it's hidden out of the way, but I think it's a lot more practical. And I'm always trying to think of ways that I can make the builds better or a bit more imaginative. And I'm not really too sure on how to do that for the basement. Again, I'm thinking I'm gonna do some barrels, like larger wine or beer barrels. I don't really know actually how alcohol is stored. I don't know too much about alcohol in general. So yeah, I'm gonna copy a reference again that I found on Pinterest. I will put it on the screen here. And as you can see, they have 2 layers of wine barrels or beer. I'm not too sure what is in there. But I'm thinking to just do one because they look quite large. so I want to make sure that they can still fit in the room. And it's kind of crazy that you can still hear the rain this loudly when you're underground like this, but Minecraft rain is very strong. And I think this is probably a good size. I think it's just about big enough. And then I'm checking my reference for the wine barrels. I'm just trying to think how many I can fit on the wall. I think they're 3 across. So maybe 2 or 3. And then for the walls, I was thinking I could make the walls wooden again. But if we're building down into the basement, we should already be using the stone that is available to us. So I think I'm just going to keep it this natural stone, but change the roof because the roof would have been reinforced. And then also like some sort of transitional material from the staircase and the hallway to the basement itself. I hope that if you are like me and you enjoy a good rainy day, I hope that you've had a few, or that you are due a few nice, not too torrential rainy days, especially in the heat. There's a bit of a drought happening in the UK, which you wouldn't think would happen because it is pretty much known for the rain, but I'm sure it's something that a few rainy days can help with. What are some good rainy day activities? I mean, everything. You can do pretty much everything that you can do inside when it's raining. I remember in primary school, which is, what's the equivalent of primary school in America? Preschool? No, kindergarten. When is kindergarten? Which is funny because kinder, surely like German, right? Kindergarten. I'm not sure when that is, but for me, primary school was, I think, from 4 to 11. And if it was raining then, that was my absolute favorite type of break. So we'd have morning break and then lunch break. But the morning break, if it was wet play, that would be incredible. And that's what we called it, wet play. And I guess because we couldn't run around outside on the field, they got out more stuff for us to play with, and that was why it was the best. And it would always be the stuff that they would never get out any other time. It's like, I don't know if you guys also had this, maybe in America too, but in our gymnasium, our hall, where we'd have assembly and stuff like that, that would also be where we would do PE lessons or physical activity lessons. in the winter or on rainy days, and there would be all this equipment around the room. Like it would be like bars and ropes and stuff like that that you'd have to pull out, and it would be such a big deal if they got that out, and they never did. They barely ever did. It was like the McFlurry machine at McDonald's. It's never working. They just I guess they just didn't want to bring it out, and I think kids probably got hurt because we were all kind of messing around on it. But that was the sort of attitude that they had towards getting like the toys out, which is why the best um, grade or level, what do you call it in the UK? The best year or grade is reception, which is the very first year you do in school. And I just remember we just played all the time. There was a dress up box. I was in that dress up box all the time. And there was this one, I still remember it. It's crazy because I was like 4 or 5, and it was a green dress. And every time I'd race towards that, be the princess every time. Children are very selfish. What can I say? I'm trying to think what other toys I really liked playing with. This was obviously before I got my own console, which I'm trying to remember when I got my DS. It's kind of like what started it all. Because I like to say that I've been gaming for a really long time, but I think games have just been in my life for a really long time because I would watch my dad play games, and my dad still plays games to this day. I have my dad on Steam, pretty cool. But yeah, uh, I guess I got my DS pretty young, and that's kind of what started it all for me independently. But yeah, I couldn't imagine bringing that to school, so we had to use our imaginations. Wow. But I've always loved like toys. I had like a massive doll collection when I was younger, and Sylvanian families, I still collect them even now. I'm never gonna stop. But yeah, just like having little knickknacks and figures of stuff. I have 2 shelves above my desk, and I have a bunch of little figures on there. I've got a Kokomi standee from Genshin Impact. I have a mini Yasuo, uh, Ash, and Seraphine from League of Legends. Got a few other characters from Genshin Impact. I've got Pom Pom Porin, of course. The cinema roll, my melody. I just love little stuff, and I think that's when you're a bit nerdy, you kind of have to like that sort of stuff. So even though I don't actively play with them, they that part of me is still there. But to be honest, I feel like I know people like collecting dolls. I've seen people have really big collections of dolls or anime figures and stuff like that. But a dream of mine that I've had for a really long time, basically stemming from when my brother used to go to a Games Workshop, which I imagine you probably have that. Maybe you have that in America too. If you're from the UK, you probably know it. It's where they sell Warhammer, and they would always have in the middle of the room a big table that they had landscapes on, and they had like rivers and mountains and stuff where people could play the game because obviously it's a tabletop game. And I think my brother still even now collects some of the stuff, but I loved being able to help out with the painting because I mean I do art as well, so I was always pretty good with the little brushes. And seeing that big board just made me think of how fantastic it would be if I could put Sylvanian families all over the place. So when I was younger, there was this one house that I lived by that I was like, I'm gonna have that when I'm older. Wow, what a big dream to own a house. But I was young, and I told myself that one of the rooms I would have a big Games Workshop style table, and I'd make rivers and the beach and mountains, and I'd put all the Sylvanians in there, and I'd make it look really pretty, kind of like those when people like trains and they have the big train set up. But I would play with them, and I would do the voices for the characters. And yeah, you know, if I become a millionaire, that's the first thing I'm gonna do. That's one of the first things I'm gonna invest in. Cause hey, the resale value of some Sylvanians is pretty good, so it's actually a really smart investment. Okay, and I can't really think of what else to put down here. I'm just gonna make sure the lanterns line up a bit better. But yeah, two big barrels. They're probably not called barrels when they're that big, but you know what I mean. Big alcohol storage things. And like I said earlier, I would like to go on a bit of an adventure. And you know what? Before I even considered that, I just remembered we haven't checked on the villagers in many, many episodes, I think now. I think it's been probably too long. And yeah, if this is your first time viewing this video on my channel, this is my villager Airbnb, and I will put the volume down in this area because they are very loud, and yeah. But they're perfectly looked after here. They have everything they could need. Look at them fight over this one piece of bread. And there's also a cow in here now. So they have a pet. Isn't that great? We allow pets here. But yeah, this is the villager holding facility. It's very temporary. And these guys, what's going on? Are you trying to unionize or something? Okay, interesting. I guess I don't really have much to do because there's no threats in the world. And I'm just gonna add on a bit of extra space because I think it's time for another villager population expansion DLC add-on. So I'm gonna make the room bigger and see if they wanna have some special time with each other. And yeah, actually speaking of like Airbnbs, I see that that's quite like a viral thing at the moment where people who own Airbnbs are basically really, really hard on the people who stay there for no reason. Like if there's a remote control out of place and they put it all on TikTok of them, well, this remote's in the wrong place. And I just thought it's funny because I haven't stayed in too many Airbnbs, but I have had some different experiences. But sometimes they can be very much like you are staying in someone's house. And I know that nowadays they are kind of ruining a lot of hotel businesses and stuff. I mean, the idea stems from people who wanted to open up their homes for some money, but now it's developers are just buying properties to. There's a whole thing that is not great. But the first time I stayed in an Airbnb was with my friends, and we went on a trip to Brighton, and it was the first time we ever got an Airbnb, and it was supposed to be like an apartment. We got let in, and then we realized, and I wasn't the one who booked it. I just paid my share of the fee. But basically, what we had booked is someone else's apartment, obviously. And when you open the door, there was a long corridor, and there's a door on the left, and this led to, well, apparently another apartment, but the door was locked. and then there was a laundry room on the left, and then we walked into the room, and it was a living room with a kitchen and then a bathroom in another room, so it was kind of like a studio apartment. And there was no bed. There was just like apparently all the sofas in the living room were sofa beds. But again, we were doing it very, very affordable. And then I think we were sitting down and deciding what to order for dinner. We went for Indian, by the way, and it was very good. I remember I got a lentil dal. But as we were deciding, the woman who owns the apartment knocked on the door and came in. And this is something I haven't even mentioned. The washing machine in the laundry room was going the entire time, and it had finished whilst we were staying there. And she knocked on the door and she said, "Hi girls, like I'm here to pick up my laundry." And we were all like what's going on? Like, is this normal? Is this like supposed to happen? I guess it is her apartment. But looking back, I feel like we probably could have. That was a bit of a privacy thing, because I mean maybe we could have said, "Oh, don't come in," but it's yeah, we weren't too sure on like how that sort of thing works. But she came in and she got her laundry, and I mean yeah, she was old enough to be like our mom, I guess. And she acted very kind of patronizing to us and motherly in a bad way. And she's very like, "Oh, you guys are not going to be too loud today." Like we're having a sleepover at someone's house. It was so bizarre. And yeah, we were a bit uncomfortable after that. We did try and be a bit quiet, and I think after that we just tried to stay out of the apartment for as much as we could. We were only there for a weekend, but yeah, it was very awkward. That was a bit of a new experience. So yeah, I think that's probably the weirdest experience I've had in an Airbnb, and it's not even that bad. And now we have a calico cat, which is interesting because the cat we have at our original house is also a calico. So finally, I have another calico cat. And as much as I would love to have the cat wander with me as we're doing the building and planning, they are also a little bit noisy. So I think I might just drop them off at the fishing hut, and they can be the fisherman's cat. Again, this is also a potential naming animal that we can have. Someone can name the cat. I don't know how I'm going to do it. If you have any good names, drop them below. Yeah, so I don't have any plans to actively like go out and try and get some cats or dogs or anything like that. But if they come across me naturally, I will take it as a sign that they have chosen me, and I will have to have them. So let's just drop off the cat here. And now, since we are in this area, I think it's a good time to consider the rock pools and the fact that they are fishless. And I could put the naturally occurring salmon and trout in there, but I really want tropical fish. I think that'd be really cute for the sort of like interesting stuff that you see in a rock pool. I want the fish to be different. So I've researched using chunk base where is the nearest warm ocean to this area. And unfortunately, well, maybe not unfortunately, but it is closest to my original house. So I thought we could take a journey back to my original cottage, the original village, go through the Nether portal, and take it from there. We can go to the War Motion to collect some fish. Let's just take a second to appreciate the village and how far it's come. Now, I haven't been through this portal in a long time, so hopefully I know the way. But I might get a bit lost. And then yeah, in terms of the planning for this place, we have the entirely separate village on the other side of this island. And I would like to turn that into a more of a bigger scale city. Because I think that was my original goal. I wanted like Baldur's Gate City. But I think it's nicer to start out with a bit of a town, like a comfier village. And then when I get more comfortable with building and figuring out stuff, I can work on the larger city. And I also want everywhere to have pockets of whimsical places. That's what I was thinking. I could have an entirely separate island that's just like fairyland and have it be more colourful and vibrant. And that could be the island in the centre. But that island is also very big. And it's very intimidating to try and think of enough to fill up the space. But I think that's such a nice concept. We have a town, like a normal regular town on either side, and then in the middle we have this big fantasy lush land that has kind of trickled into either village. I don't know, Minecraft is so fun, and again this whole year has been the year of Minecraft for me. It is my game of the year, even though it's very old. But this has been such an important game for me, for my own like mental health, for my creativity, for finding a purpose, I guess, making these videos. And yeah, I have a lot to thank Minecraft for. So, and yeah, even the fact that I'm still enjoying it now, and even my friends still want to play sometimes is just testament to how fantastic this game is. But that's nothing new. Okay, I do remember this being quite a long way. And actually it's really nice to listen to the Nether music. We haven't been to the Nether in a long time, so it's nice to hear the kind of minimal sounds that are here, but they're also quite eerie as well. It's very atmospheric. I'm not too sure on who made each of the songs, but this one's really good. And we are finally home at the original home. The pink cottage. Again, nowhere has names. I haven't given anywhere a name, even though I probably should. But this is the original cottage. If you haven't seen this place before, I built this. I can't remember which episode it was, but here's our other calico cat with the blue collar. also nameless, and the true original house is of course my humble dirt home. Behind every great house is a hole in the wall, and this is mine. And I originally started this series in peaceful mode, but I have switched over to creative now just because I just wasn't really inspired by peaceful, and for all the building that I want to do, this is much more fulfilling to just use creative mode, and it speeds it up and I can get some more interesting stuff for you guys to see too. But yeah, I'm doing my own special blend of creative mode with restrictions. Oh, it's so nice to be back. It's so bright in here. Okay, my bedroom is really nice. Oh, this place is so cute. And the warm ocean in relation to this house is directly to the north, but there is no sort of straight river to follow, so I'm gonna have to keep on checking my F3 menu until we reach the coast, and then I'll have to do a bit of navigating. But yeah, ideally I want different varieties of tropical fish and also some puffer fish, because I really would like to tame the nautilus that's been hanging around the fishing hut. And hopefully they're still around. Oh, I love that view. I don't know why, it's so simple, but it's really nice. And the bees. I wish I could take the bees with me. And I wish I could take the cat with me, but I had a really awful experience taking my cat through the Nether when I played back in December, and I don't want to go through that sort of experience again. But I guess I could put them in the boat. And I'm just going to climb up here for a better view of the sort of direction I need to go in. And you know, this is the first time I'm really considering turning off the auto jump. I literally said last time that I don't mind it at all, and I actually prefer it because I don't have to like smack the keyboard, the spacebar, like every time. Yeah, sometimes it's just annoying. Oh, and this will be another great time to test my water bucket skills, because I'm always trying to improve those. Right, but clearly I forgot how water works on leaves. So let's just say that I made that, like that worked. See, I did it again, so getting really good now. Definitely need that on creative. And every time I see a chicken egg, I have to pick it up for the gamba. Wait, and I guess on creative I can just keep throwing them. Oh, this is great. I truly feel like God. But yeah, I mentioned that my friends still want to play Minecraft every now and then, and obviously nothing will ever beat that sort of intense period where everyone wants to play like every day, but that really is the 2 week phase. But now other people are joining as well, so it kind of adds to, it refreshes it a bit when new people have to come in and you can show them the game and they can build a house and stuff. So I need to stay on top of my survival skills because we do play in just normal, so So I gotta show off with my water bucket skills. And I have to say that I did plan on making, yeah, a big adventure out of finding the tropical fish and having a look for other stuff as well. And I can't believe how quick the time has gone by because it's already been an hour. So for now, instead of, wait, this is so addictive. Instead of starting the adventure and having it cut off, I would rather, or even just try to like tack it on to the end of this video. I think I'm gonna make it the focus of the next video. And yeah, I'm so sorry if people don't think these are long enough or they want more than one a week. But this is pretty sustainable for me right now, and yeah, I don't want to get too burnt out of it myself. So this feels like a pretty good stopping point. And I have a trend now of my episodes being like an hour long. I'm still not over calling them episodes. It feels like I'm making a TV show. But yeah, I hope that this video was somewhat interesting. And this video doesn't feel like it was that interesting. It feels like very much an extension of the last episode. But regardless, I hope that you had some time. I hope that you enjoyed spending some time in this world. And yeah, I hope that you think of this world as some place that you can mentally come to as well. And I think with that, I will have to see you next time. Have a fantastic week, everyone.